Hello and welcome back to my channel, Dodie Like Jody. If you're new here, this is a relatively new channel for me, and I am just 5 years into reselling and thought it might be fun to start a channel to maybe, guide some others in what I'm finding and what's sold. So that's what this channel's for. Today we're going to do a what sold video from last Monday through last night. So Monday through Sunday, from Poshmark, eBay, and Depop. Okay, so I'll be looking down at my computer like I always do with these, and you'll be able to see what's on my computer at the same time. So I've got a lot. I think there's 56. So I'm averaging about 8 items a day right now, which I think is really nice and comfortable for me. I'm listing 5 clothing items, and then right now, because of the holidays, I still have some leftover hard goods. So I'm listing some Christmas villages and some nutcrackers and some plates and things like that. So 5 of those and 5 clothing items. You'll see all of these are clothes except one item. Okay, the first item is an ASOS Design Linen Blend Women's Long Sleeve Button Up, extra small but oversized. This was purchased years ago when I was first learning. I don't pick up ASOS anymore. I do think this still had something going for it because it was a linen blend. So, and it was cute, but very plain. It actually sold overseas. So it's going to the distribution center for eBay in Illinois, and then it's going to go overseas. I can't remember where this one was going, but that's kind of fun. If you don't know about the overseas program through eBay, if you opt in, you send it to their distribution center. They handle it after that. And if there's a problem, it doesn't arrive or anything, eBay takes care of that. So I actually love having international sales. So that's the first one. It sold for $11.20. All right, the second one is this Broner hat, men's size medium, hunting trapper canvas cap with fur ear flaps. I've only had this listed for about 3 weeks. I paid $1 at my local thrift. I always pick any hats like this up. I mean, unless they're like some kind of cheap, something that you can just tell by the feel. But if they have a name brand, look them up. Maybe not necessarily pick up, but look them up. This was listed for 3 weeks and sold for $17.60 on eBay. These are all eBay until I let you know otherwise. This is a Christopher & Banks women coral long sleeve stretch denim jacket, snap front, extra large. I got this because I had very low cost of goods into it. Because I knew it wouldn't sell for a lot, but I thought it might sell around this time of the year. It's been listed for maybe 6 months. I did get it at my thrift shop, my favorite thrift shop, on Dollar Day, and it sold for $22 on eBay. This I loved. This is a Y2K Banana Republic 100% linen skirt, olive green, midi, A-line, cargo grunge. I just thought this is gonna sell on Depop or Poshmark, eBay, I didn't know, but it took a long time. I've had this listed for 7 months, and I ended up having to mark it down because it's a skirt and linen, and I'm trying to move these kind of summer items. So it did sell for $25.60. Which is still fine, but I thought it would sell more like $35. Okay, this is a Talbot's Pure Cashmere Paisley Print Sweater Crew Neck Small. This was only listed for under 3 weeks, and it was, sold for $23.80 on eBay. This is a Lucky Brand belt. When I find these leather belts and they have a name brand, Lucky Brand does well for me. So as long as it's 32 or bigger, I usually have pretty good luck. So this one had a very nice buckle, 32. It's genuine leather, Lucky Brand in good condition. I paid $1 at my thrift store for it, and it sold for $25.41 on a 15% off sale. Okay, carbon to cobalt. Cobalt. I don't pick up anymore. I thought this had enough extenuating I thought this had enough going for it that it might, fetch some decent money. I did end up having to reduce the price on this. It had almost no interest. So I was kind of surprised. It was one of those cool ones, with the long sleeve, with the double knit Henley. But it ended up selling for $22 on eBay after a long time. Knox Rose. How many of you sell Knox Rose? Believe it or not, I sell so much Knox Rose. I always get them either at the bins or on Dollar Day. I will never pay more than that for any Knox Rose. Maxi dresses for Knox Rose, I get good money for. I knew I wouldn't get much for this, but it did have that embroidered flowers on the side. It kind of had that lug-and look. So I did go ahead and get it for $1. It sold for $13.60 on eBay. Okay, Vera Bradley. Some things sell, some things don't. If you're looking at purchasing Vera Bradley, I wouldn't pay very much. But if you can get them for a good price, like I do, $1, $2 at the most. This was a very large backpack. This one was listed probably 4 or 5 months and did sell for $17.60 on eBay. This little Kate Spade wristlet, they don't go for much. They sell for a lot, new. Resale, something this small, we're talking about just a 6x4, I think was the size of it. It was new with tags, and the tag said that this is what it sold for, $139. Yeah, resale on these are not great, and I did sell that for $29.75, which I still think is great for me. I did actually pay $5 for that because I thought it was going to sell for a little bit more. I'm still fine with that profit, but always look up Kate Spade. Always know if it's going to be something that's actually in demand. And those small little wristlets, not as much. I have good and bad luck with Lucky Brand. Great luck with Lucky Brand belts and bags. Not so much with their booties anymore, and sometimes with their shirts. It's got to be an extra large or bigger, and I've got to have not very much money into it. So this Lucky Brand extra large gray smocked blouse was so sweet. It just had that beautiful look to it. I couldn't pass it up. I paid $2 for this one, and it sold for $22.42. And I think that's really good for a Lucky Brand top. That's about the max I'm going to get, unless it's some super, has a lot of embroidery and boho and something that is just high demand. This Loft Super Soft hoodie with front pocket, size small, cotton blend gray, is actually cooler than it looks in the pictures. I don't know if you can tell the knit and the pockets, but it sold for $14.54 after being listed for a long time. And I think I didn't take an offer on that, but I must have done some kind of sale. It was listed for a long time, probably since last winter. This Victoria's Sports yoga bra, size large, I listed 7 days ago, and it sold 6 days ago. So these little lightweight, super stretchy bras, they sell good, and Victoria's Sports are, one of them. Knicks, I think it's called, Honey Love, all of these little bras, they sell. I paid $1, it sold for $13. This, oh my goodness, I about died when I found this. This is a vintage 60s Ui Mai Kai Hawaiian maxi dress, pink red daisy floral sleeveless. It was absolutely gorgeous. and I knew when I found it. I paid $2 at a yard sale for this, along with another one and a shirt, all that were hanging in their section of Halloween costumes. This one went back to Hawaii. I was so excited. I paid $2 at the yard sale. It sold for $63.75 in 1 week. So if you see any of those beautiful vintage Hawaiian dresses, Hawaiian shirts that are the vintage, look them up. They're probably worth something. This, on the other hand, was not worth something. I bought this, I think I got it in the bins. I thought, oh, Jack Nicholas or whatever, I thought this might be okay. This was not okay. So if I bought it at the bins, it probably weighed enough to be $3 or $4. And it sold for $23.80 after months on eBay. So it did sell, and it's still decent price, but just not worth it for me to have the bulk in my closet and to have gone through all the, because men's stuff, you have to measure sleeves and all that. So I wouldn't pick it up again. Spanx, hit and miss on Spanx. These I actually bought for myself a year ago when I was this larger size and wore them and then thought they were fine. And then they were too big, and so I decided to sell them. So I don't really call any cost of goods in this because these were my own, and I sold them for $23 on eBay. Adidas men's flat front plaid golf chino shorts, size 38, purple black plaid, excellent used condition is what EUC means. I used to put that on all my listings where it was applicable. I don't ever put that on there anymore, but in case you see that on something, that's what that means, excellent used condition. And they've been listed for probably 2 seasons, 2 years. They sold for $12.11 on eBay. This little Paoli women's scarf, 20 by 20, vintage silk signed equestrian style. You don't get much for these, and I probably should have lotted this up with some other silk scarves that I had. I think I would have done better that way. I didn't. I listed it on its own, and it did sell for $10.20 on eBay. This new with tags, Vera Bradley Grand Traveler Bag, Pearl Buffalo Check Black White Quilted. New with tags, so NWT, that's what that means. This was large. This was, 21 by 15, so big, very nice. Again, Vera, hit and miss on Vera. So it did end up selling for $76.24, which I thought was fine. I paid $10 for it, so I paid up for that. It sold, $76.24 is not too bad for $10 into it. This next one, Under Armour men's shirt, loose fit, heat gear, long sleeves, with the side ventilation panels. It's probably listed 7 or 8 months, sold for $14.54 on eBay. I'm sure I had $1 into that. This J. Jill 100% linen jacket blazer, large button utility, pockets, coral, medium, and petite. It was not listed long. I would say 5 weeks, probably 5 weeks. It sold for $27.20. It had a lot of things going for it. Sometimes people say they don't pick up the petites. Medium or above, I will actually, especially in J. Jill, Loft, Talbots, and Taylor. And if they're linen, it's got a lot going for it. So this was very cool. This is a vintage green tweed wool peacoat, Moda International. So that's like Y2K. This was super Y2K. And I had so much interest in this over on Depop. Just loads and loads and offers that people would send me and I would accept, and they wouldn't pay because that's kind of the norm on Depop, in case you don't know. Eventually somebody will pay, so you just keep accepting offers or sending offers until somebody pays. But this ended up selling over here on eBay, and it sold for $41.05. That vintage Y2K tweed, Moda International, it had a lot going for it. This I just got because it was new with tags. So it's a Lofts women and it's sheer. So lacy blouse, extra large. So it had, if you factor stack things on those, new with tags, sheer lace, extra large, long sleeve. Those all kind of had some stuff going for it. I knew I wouldn't get a ton, but I paid $1 at my local thrift and it sold for $18.70. Lily by Fermiana, women, black, floral, jumper, romper, beachy cover-up, big pockets, new with tags. I honestly have tried to sell Lily by Fermiana numerous times and it doesn't sell well. And I'm not having great luck with jumpers or rompers anymore. So I don't think I'll be picking them up. I wanted this out of my closet because it's summer. Summer's ending and it's a summer garment. And so I was happy to accept an offer of $18.70 to have that out of my closet. All right, so that is the last one from eBay. Let's move on to Poshmark. Oh my goodness, a bald eagle just flew right by my window. All right, I sold these Franco Sarta black leather ankle boots, side zip, women's 8 medium. They were in beautiful condition. They did sell on eBay, or no, on Poshmark for $28, and I paid $5 for these. So I thought that was a good, they were actually very beautiful. If they'd have been 8.5 or 9, I probably would have kept them. This little University of Minnesota beanie, I just picked these. I think it was $1 at a yard sale. There are lots of them around here, being that we're in Minnesota. So this little beanie fleece sold for $10 on Poshmark. This one, I was surprised. This is a Ralph Lauren black white houndstooth hoodie sweatshirt, cropped women's medium. This was very, very cute. I don't know why it ended up not selling for a long time and then only selling for $12. I had $2 into this from a yard sale, so that one was not a great return on my money. So look up Ralph Lauren if you're considering picking it up. Some of them sell for amazing money. Silk, the vintage, the wool. There's just so many that do, but obviously some don't. I picked up these for $1 a piece. They're 2 scarves, like pashminas. One had a brand, one didn't. Lotted them up. They sold for, somebody sent me an offer for $13 on Poshmark and I accepted. This is my best sale of the week. This is a Scully sterling silver vase, hand hammered. I bought this last year at an estate sale for $10, and then I set it on my counter and left it there. And then I started trying to research it because these are difficult to research. They have numbers like this on the bottom that represent the maker and what kind of metal and all of those things. And so I ended up seeking out a Facebook group that helped me determine the exact information on this, that APR Scully sterling silver vase, London hand hammered, and design number 925, which really, really helped. So this is worth doing your research on. And this, we went back and forth because I had this listed at $250 and I had an offer of $100, and we kept going back and forth, and I think I was down to $180 and he was at $150 and he stuck to $155 and I accepted that offer. So $10 into $155, can't hardly beat that. I was kind of sad though because I really liked it. It was beautiful on my shelf. Duluth Trading Company. Again, they're solid bread and butter for me. This was one of their newer kind of hoodie jackets, nothing super fancy. It was flannel lined. It sold, somebody sent me an offer for $25. I think I had listed for $35. And it was about 6 months on the market. So, yeah, $25. I got that at the bins actually. So that probably would have been about $4 based on weight. This little Ann Taylor's Women Blue Stripe button-down shirt, I paid $1/4 for this at a yard sale. It's 100% cotton, and even though it was a size 0, I just knew that it kind of had that career type thing going for it. And even though it was a size 0, it sold. Somebody sent me an offer for $12, and I was happy to take it. This little handmade crochet cotton women's vest, florets, dark ecru, boho hippie festival resort. Lots of keywords for this one. Again, this one had a lot of likes on not only eBay but Depop. Ended up selling on Poshmark in a bundle. This one and the next 3. This was a bundle of 4. So I'll go through the bundle here so that I can show you. Kenneth Roberts 100% cotton golf sweater embroidered vintage. I loved this. I thought this was so cool, and it took forever, 2 years at least, to sell. So when she put this in her bundle, I was gonna make a deal. The other thing was this Natori baby doll slip dress. Absolutely beautiful. This I knew would sell. That wasn't a question. And then she also wanted the golf ties for $9. So she bundled the 4 items for $60. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And I was happy to accept. Iowa State Team Windbreaker. I always pick up these if they're in decent condition, if they look like they are or they are vintage, they always sell. This one sold for my full asking price of $35 on Poshmark. It was listed 2 months. Fresh produce. This is my first time finding fresh produce. I hear all sorts of resellers talk about fresh produce and finding it, and maybe it being a little colder than it was before, not as popular. I found this, listed it for $45, got an offer for $39 in 2 weeks, and was happy to take that. I paid $1 at Dollar Day at my local thrift. This one, Riverdance vintage single stitch extra large made in USA t-shirt. So single stitch means that on the edge of the sleeves and at the bottom there's just 1 stitch instead of a double stitch that the newer machines do now. So this was clearly vintage. There's the tag. It was Delta cotton, and I had it for 2 years. I had it listed, took it off, then put it back on. As soon as I put it back on, it sold for $14 on Poshmark. I don't even remember what I had into it, but I bet it was $1/4. I don't know. Okay, anything like this, I'm going to pick up right now. I'm slowing down a little bit, but I still probably would pick it up because linen seems to sell year-round, better in the summer, harder in the winter, but it still sells. So this Tahari women's top 1X. 100% linen, button down tunic. So all sorts of factors involved that made this a beautiful pickup. When you're looking at something, should I pick it up? I paid $3 for this at my thrift store $3 day, and it did sell. I believe that was an offer I received. I think I had it listed for $32, and it sold for $28 on Poshmark. This is such a cool piece. This Vera Pelli vintage black leather skirt with the front zip lined Y2K medium. This just a really, really cool piece of leather here. And it sold for $27 on Poshmark. I believe I took an offer. I had it listed at $36. I got a $27 offer, and I was happy to take that. I thought this one might sell on Depop or eBay before it sold on Posh, but it did sell on Poshmark. Lululemon weekend short sleeve shirt. I got this for myself at the Dollar Day on the thrift shop, thinking that I would like it. I didn't like the way it fit, so I knew I wouldn't be able to get much for it, but I listed it for $12 and it sold for $12 after just a couple weeks. You can't get much out of these little Lulu tops anymore. You can't get much out of most Lulu leggings anymore. They have to be very specific brands. So if you're looking at Lulu, don't get excited. look it up, do a comp on it, make sure that it's something that's worth selling. Same thing with these Nike bras. I stopped picking them up. I still pick up the newer brands, but Nike, there's so many out there. It's just oversaturated. So this one sold for $13. I paid $1 for it. This one and the next one, someone purchased them together. I clearanced all of my little tops like this, summer tops off 2 weeks ago on Poshmark. So marked them down to $8, $10, $9, somewhere around there, just to try to clear them out. I paid $1 for it. And this one, this PacSun LA Hearts, $1. These both were listed most of the summer and didn't sell. So they got marked down to the 8 and the 10, and the buyer did pay $18 for that bundle. So I was happy with that. Trying to clear out the little summer tops. I don't know if I'll buy many summer tops next year. I know if I find a vintage Hollister, if I find a, vintage Abercrombie, super, we're talking Y2K with the super vintage, I might still pick them up, but I'm going to be much more particular. These new with tags Prana women's stretch hiking pants, size 10, sold for $15. I had them listed for $18, got a $15 offer, which I did accept. These were new with tags. They're expensive, but Prana doesn't sell well anymore. So if you're looking at Prana, make sure you comp it or get it for very little money. I paid $1 for these. Wilfred. Wilfred used to sell really well. Now it's a slow seller and you don't get nearly as much for it. So these Wilfred Free Daria pant, high-waisted, unreal black leather leggings, festival, they did sell for $18. I paid $3 at $3 day, and they sold for $18 at Poshmark. They were listed for probably a year. This I actually wore out just because I love it, even though it's too big for me. It's been cold in Minneapolis over the last week. It is now, fake fall is over, and now it is full on summer with it being 90 degrees today. But I did wear this out thrifting a couple of days when it was super cold, and it was so much fun to wear it. And then somebody sent me an offer for $27. I had it listed for $38, and I wanted more, but I knew I probably needed to get it sold. So I sold it for $27 on Poshmark. I paid $2 at a yard sale for that. This Polo Ralph Lauren hoodie, black red logo plaid graphic pullover, size medium, sold for an offer of $30 on Poshmark. I paid $5 at a yard sale for this. I was hoping it would go closer to $40, but I had some interest but no offers, and then I sent this $30 offer and they did accept. This Tweed River Outfitters Chore Barn Coat Jacket Canvas Leather Collar, vintage. These are still selling really well. I paid $5 at a yard sale knowing I could at least get $40 for it. I had it listed for $50. I got an offer for $40, which I was happy to accept. And be watchful for Chore barn coats. They're still selling this fall. They were super hot last fall. So if you can get your hands on those, some brands are even, will even go for more. This was a brand not too, people wouldn't be too familiar with, but $40 from $5, I'll take it. This is another one of the summer tops that I put on my 10 and under sale on Poshmark, and it did sell for $10. I paid $1 for it. I just loved the way it looked, and it was, it's just kind of a cool little lacy shoulders. It's over $10 on Poshmark. This American Eagle Cozy Cabin oversized button hoodie, flannel, plaid, women's, medium, gorp core. If you don't know that keyword for the hikers and the lovers of camping and all things outside, it's a good word to use. This was nothing fancy. It was American Eagle. I was happy to get $17. I paid $1 for it. I think I had it listed at $17. And this was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can tell how beautiful from the pictures. That's probably why. it was just gorgeous. Anyway, I had it listed for $35 and I had almost no interest in it. So I offered somebody $20 that had liked it on Poshmark, and they accepted and they love it. Yay! 3 sales over on Depop. This little youth size Adidas, I also said it could be an extra small women's, and I put the measurements in. I think that's who it sold to. I loved this. I thought this was super cool. I knew absolutely this was going to sell on Depop. It was vintage Adidas with the stripes. And this sold for, I had it listed for $32. It sold for $27.20 on Depop, listed for 6 weeks. This I had 17,000 offers on. I got offers anywhere from 10 to 17, I think. And I ended up accepting an offer of 13. Well, I accepted probably 20 offers of 13 and no one ever paid. But then they finally paid, and it finally got sent this weekend, and it did sell for $13, $1 into it. And if you know, Depop takes very little. There's like a little fee, and then if you boost, they take a little bit more. But so, I mean, it sold for $13, and I think I made like $11.50 or $12. So Depop, you can make some good deals. And then this Marimekko yellow white striped shift dress. I found this, and there was a couple others listed on eBay that weren't selling, and I thought, oh, bummer, because I paid $1 for it. I knew that it was going to be worth selling. I believe this brand was sold at Anthropologie long ago. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll throw it on Depop, and I put it on Depop, and it did sell for $45 on Depop. I had $1 into that, so that was a really, really great sale. So that's it, everybody. That's it for my what sold this week. I hope that you enjoyed seeing those items and maybe learned something. I know most people that are hopefully going to watch this are going to probably be other resellers, and I know I watch so many resellers that help me tremendously with what to pick up, how to determine what is of value and what's going to sell and what might be popular out there. So hopefully my little hauls and my little what sold videos will do the same thing for you. If you like my content, a thumbs up is huge for the algorithm. Subscribe so you know, and hit the little bell notification, and then you'll be notified when I put out new content. And have a glorious hot summer day. Maybe it's not hot there, but whew, hopefully fall's around the corner. Have a great day.